After an iconic career that included one of the greatest movies ever made, respected actor James Caan sadly died on July 6, 2022, it was announced. He was 82 years old. Caan leaves behind an incredible legacy from an acting career that spanned decades. He built his singular roller coaster career on his personality, as much as he did roles like the hot-headed Sonny Corleone in 1972's The Godfather, football player and cancer patient in the prior year's Brian song, turns in 1974's The Gambler, 1975's Rollerball, 1990's Misery, and more. On July 7th, the official Twitter account of the actor posted, "It is with great sadness that we inform you of the passing of Jimmy on the evening of July 6th. The family appreciates the outpouring of love and heartfelt condolences and asks that you continue to respect their privacy during this difficult time." In a reference to the actor's classic Twitter sign-off, the message concluded with the phrase, "End of tweet." James Caan went from Broadway to small television roles before making his first big-screen splash in 1966's El Dorado beside the legendary John Wayne. The man they called the Jewish cowboy eventually cemented his name in Hollywood in The Godfather, but he eventually felt that the role typecast him. He reportedly once remarked, "They called me a wise guy. I won Italian of the Year twice in New York, and I'm not Italian." He remained busy throughout his late life, taking on more and more roles. More, in fact, in his 70s and 80s than he had in decades prior. Still later in his career, Caan experienced disappointment after refusing roles in highly successful films like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Blade Runner, and Superman. After his career peak, arguably in the 1970s, he vanished for a bit from 1982 to 1986, spending part of his downtime coaching Little League Baseball. He came back to the business by reuniting with his Godfather director Francis Ford Coppola in 1987's Gardens of Stone. James Caan remained an energetic personality throughout his entire life. His Mr. Tough Guy or Mr. Hero persona, as he put it to The Independent, mingled with off-screen escapades like 4 marriages and 4 divorces, an openly discussed phase of drugs and partying, and the year he spent living in the Playboy Mansion. All the while, Caan garnered not a single major award to his name, although he was nominated for an Oscar for his work in The Godfather in 1972. Remarking on this fact, he once said, "I sound like I'm bitter, and I am." Born James Edward Caan in 1940 in the Bronx, New York, Caan was raised by Jewish refugees from Germany in the aftermath of World War II. In short, Caan was a tough, stocky kid from a tough, stocky neighborhood. He was once quoted by the Orlando Sentinel as saying, "My neighborhood wasn't conducive to the arts. We didn't have too many singers and dancers come out of my neighborhood." He went on to say, "I really believe that you grow up a certain way in New York. There's a New York morality, a sense of loyalty. There are 1,000 kids outside. You know who to push and who not to push. There's a sixth sense you develop just because it's New York." In his youth, Caan was a bouncer, a lifeguard, and an occasional boxer and bull rider. Terrified of the prospect of getting stuck in his father's meat market trade as a butcher, he dropped out of high school, indulged his passion for the arts, and enrolled in the neighborhood playhouse under legendary acting coach Sanford Meisner. Despite the school's admission process requiring 3 auditions a year, he later recalled, "I just busted into the neighborhood playhouse 10 days before school started." He was accepted practically on the spot. In 1981, James Caan experienced one of the most traumatic events of his life when his sister Barbara died from leukemia. He told The Independent, "Barbara was like my best friend. When she died, passion became this whole thing with me. That's what I loved about my sister. She was just so passionate about whatever she did." Aside from acting, Caan held a black belt in karate and reportedly once helped train the Culver City Police Department in martial arts. One of the actor's 5 children, fellow actor Scott Caan, holds a black belt in jiu-jitsu. His son told The Fall magazine in 2017, "My dad is probably one of the most interesting people I've ever met."